All right, good morning. It is November 9th, and I call the City of Findlay City Planning Commission meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Murin.
Here.
Mr. Martin.
Here.
Mr. DeArmond.
Here.
Ms. Schroeder.
Here.
And Mr. Klinger.
Here.
Wonderful. At this time, if anyone planning to speak for or against an item on the agenda could please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in. Yeah, so if you plan to speak at all, you need to be sworn in. Oh, nobody plans to speak. If you have anything on the agenda, it's wise to speak up. So please raise your right hand, and Jacob will swear you in.
Yeah.
We're going to ask you questions. Okay. Do you affirm that all the testimony and evidence you're about to give in a case before this commission this day will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and will conform to the facts of the case and the rules of this commission? This you affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury. Please say I do.
Very good. You may be seated. Approval of the October 12th, 2023 commission meeting minutes. Was there any amendments to the minutes?
I move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Minutes are approved. There are no tabled items, so moving into new items. Item number 1, application for zoning amendment ZA-11-2023 filed by Strock 3 LTD to rezone Lot 8 of the East Melrose Business Park from C2 General Commercial to M2 Multifamily High Density located at 1600 East Melrose Avenue. CPC staff comments.
Okay. So this request is located on the west side of Keith Parkway. It's currently zoned C2 General Commercial. To the north is I-1 Light Industrial. Across Keith Parkway to the east, it is zoned C2 General Commercial. To the west, it is zoned M2 Multifamily High Density. It is not located within the 100-year floodplain, and the City of Findlay Land Use Plan designates the area as regional commercial. Currently, this site is vacant. The applicant is requesting to rezone to M2 Multifamily High Density. Last month, it was recommended that lots 9, 10, 11 would be rezoned to M2 Multifamily High Density. This was the last lot on the west side of Keith Parkway that would have remained C2 General Commercial. And given the surrounding area, the applicant wished to rezone to fit with the lots to the south. Although the Findlay Land Use Map recommends that the parcels along Keith Parkway be commercial, the parcel is abutting M2 already, and given the existence of multifamily in the area, staff did not have any concerns with the request. So staff recommendation, staff recommends CPC recommend approval of application for zoning amendment ZA-11-2023 filed by Stroud 3 LTD to rezone Lot 8 of the East Melrose Business Park from C2 General Commercial to M2 Multifamily High Density located north at 1600 East Melrose Avenue.
Engineering.
No comment.
Fire prevention.
No comment.
The recommendation before the commission is staff recommends approval of the application for zoning amendment ZA-11-2023 filed by Strock 3 Limited to rezone Lot 8 of the East Melrose Business Park from C2 General Commercial to M2 Multifamily High Density located at 1600 East Melrose Avenue. Is the applicant here to speak on this item? Phil, if you could, any...
First rule, never speak unless you have to.
I'm going to ask you lots of difficult questions, Phil. Any questions from the commission on this item?
This is the same applicant as that rezoned the other 3 lots.
Correct. Yes. Just for clarification, these 3 lots are in the process of being rezoned to multifamily.
Right.
It's expected to. You guys voted to
Right.
approve it. It's at City Council now, and so they just want to expand it a little further.
Will those lots be combined then before anything can be done on them? Because otherwise you'd
it
have
could work
setbacks.
either way, depending on what they plan to do.
Okay. Otherwise you'd have to have setbacks on each individual lots and so forth.
I would expect they combine them, but
Okay.
we'll see.
So, is it the same owner that from 9, 10, and 11? And they last month the owner sold it to a developer. Is that correct? Phil Lawson?
They were in the process of selling
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
It's
So-
contingent on the
Okay, so who
rezoning.
owns this? The developer or that original owner?
The original owner.
Oh, the original owner. Okay, very good. So this hasn't been sold to a developer yet. So he's just proactively changing the zoning.
It could be, I mean, it could be. I don't know that if it's in the process of a sale.
Yeah, okay.
Really affects our decision.
Okay, that's fine. Now I was just trying to understand.
Sure.
From my perspective, I think it makes sense. Again, as noted in the staff recommendations, this was previously kind of a commercial area, but with the development that's occurred in this area, it's less intense than commercial. So overall, we need housing. I think this is a reasonable spot to do it, and that by expanding into this lot, I think it makes more sense with the surrounding properties. So I'm supportive.
I agree.
I agree with those comments. Just for a point of clarification, as you move north, is that the same owner?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
No, it is. Yeah.
I stand corrected.
And how about east? On the other side of the,
No, it's to the west and the north.
Okay. Thank you.
I will motion to recommend approval for the rezone application ZA-11-2023.
I'll second.
Very good. Any other, was there anyone that wanted to speak for or against this item? You almost snuck by. I couldn't even see you. Come down, if you could, please introduce yourself.
I'm Dale Alt, I'm the owner of Fred's office, and we have the property right across the street. And my only concern would be is we have plans to expand, so we're gonna bring semi-truck traffic down through there, coming around, so they don't have to come in off of, office.
I'm sorry, Matt, can you show me where Friends is on this?
Yeah.
Right there. So we own the.
Oh, okay.
all the way through. It actually comes off of Bright Road.
And you want to do what now? Tell me that again, please. Now that I know where you're located. All right.
We have plans to expand and put a curb cut there so that semis can come through there and around instead of coming out on Bright Road.
Oh, I see.
And we also have plans to expand that warehouse facility as well.
Do you own that property over to Keith?
Yes.
Oh, you own that, okay.
Is this just an extension of that property line there that you own? Is that what I'm hearing, or do you own more of this up here?
I'm sorry, what was
I'm sorry. Is the property that you own, is it
Yep, all the
directly
way.
off of your property lines there?
Yep, all the way from from Bright Road to Mel.
Okay.
Yep.
So when you talk truck traffic,
We get
how many
about,
per day, in versus out?
I would say maybe minimum, maybe one semi, up to 10 semis a day that we have inbound and outbound.
Based on inbound versus outbound, or where they're headed or coming from, would they still use Bright Road? Or is your goal to completely eliminate truck traffic on Bright?
Well, I would personally, because we have actions coming out of there. That gets so busy, there's no light there. Our employees are coming out there continuously. And the semi, actually, you did me a favor there, Mrs. Mayor. When you redid the road, you widened that entranceway, which helped a lot because now the semis, they don't have to get into the second lane to make that turn to come in, which helped. But it's still, I mean, I'm not opposed either way, but I'm just saying that if I start get semis and coming down that parkway and having kids on the street is probably not, the best idea.
Yeah, so from my perspective, I think the rezone still makes sense. I think when we look at it from a site plan standpoint, just knowing if you can kind of share with the group where you plan to put your curb cut in the future, that will help us just make sure that those are aligned and help minimize conflict points.
Yeah, I've submitted a plan, or my contractor has,
Perfect.
with them already, through, who's the architect that did your building here? RMS, or is that his name?
RCM?
RCM, yep. So he did the study and it did a feasibility. We haven't gone forward with it yet, so.
Yeah, I think luckily with it still being, the cul-de-sac, you're still going to have low traffic flow and good visibility. So I'm not
Correct.
overly concerned. But I appreciate you coming and sharing, so we make sure that we keep that in mind.
I agree.
Okay.
In addition, when this comes for a site plan, we will take into consideration that this is all zoned commercial and kind of encouraging, little larger setbacks, screening, and, potentially increased pedestrian maneuverability within the development so that we're not putting a lot of pedestrians right there, especially young kids. So
Very good.
good information.
Yep, thank you.
Was
I
there-
haven't been on that street for a while, but I assume it's wide enough to handle the truck traffic easy enough? The semis turning and so forth?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of built with that as originally as a commercial in mind. It was designed that way. I mean, it's not a 3-lane road or anything like that, but it can accommodate that. But kind of like expanding on what Matt is saying, we would want to see that additional drive curb cut, because then we would have to work with the west side to make sure that the curb cuts line up and stuff with that, because we're not going to have 5 curb cuts on that west side. We're going to want to make them work both sides. So it would just be planning once we see site plans for both of them.
Very good.
Dale, would
Thank
you
you.
see that being mostly outbound truck traffic and the inbound still coming in off of 90, off of Bright Road, especially if it's southbound traffic?
I would say starting out, yes, but as the trucks understand what I would imagine, they would like to come down the other way with a traffic light, because they don't, it's kind of hazardous sometimes stopping traffic there and turning in there.
Okay.
Thank you. Was there anyone else here that wanted to speak for or against this item? All right, very good. So we had a motion and a second. Any final discussion? Hearing none. Jacob, whenever you're ready.
Mayor Moon,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Jarrett,
Aye.
Ms. Schroeder,
Aye.
Mr. Klinger.
Aye.
Very good. Moving on to item number 2, application for site plan review SP-26-2023, filed by Workbrow for 30,772 square foot parking lot expansion of their facility at 2500 Fostoria Avenue. CPC staff comments.
All right, so this request is located on the north side of Fostoria Avenue. On the north side of Fostoria Avenue, it is zoned I-1 light industrial. On the south side of Fostoria, it is zoned MH mobile home. It's not located within a 100-year floodplain, and the City of Findlay land use plan designates the parcel as industrial. So the site is currently Workbrow, and the applicant has requested to construct a new parking lot that can accommodate 72 parking spaces. Last month, Workbrow had submitted a site plan that had a building expansion which eliminated 68 parking spaces. As part of the building expansion, some of the employees are being shifted into different buildings on the site, and with the shift, they needed the parking lot to be shifted to the west to address this. The only part staff noted is that they didn't show any additional landscaping around the parking lot. Staff would recommend 20 trees for perimeter landscaping to be included around the perimeter of the parking lot. Staff recommends approval of the application for site plan review SP-26-2023 filed by Workbrow for a 30,772 square foot parking lot expansion of their facility at 2500 Fostoria Avenue with the following condition. Work with HRPC to get an approved landscaping plan.
Engineering.
So to keep this short and sweet, it's pretty much a build off of what I believe what we seen last month. Storm detention, it's still within that surge pond that was kind of all developed for the area, but site access is all from the site right now, and there's no water or sewer that is proposed.
Very good. Fire prevention.
No comment.
So the recommendation before the commission is staff recommends approval of application for site plan review SP-26-2023 filed by Workbrow for a 30,772 square foot parking lot expansion of their facility at 2500 Fostoria Avenue with the following condition: HRPC, or work with HRPC to get an approved landscaping plan. I believe the applicant is here. Would you like to come forward and speak on this item? Can you just introduce yourself real quick? Very good. Does anybody have any questions on this application?
The only thing I have is, do you have a hard surface going between the parking lot and the entrance to the building?
Not currently, I mean, that might
And if you could just introduce yourself, please.
John Ballinger with yes, the new expansion is going on off to the building, off to the backside of the building on the east, and that will all be concrete or pavement, going from actually some existing pavement, there's actually existing asphalt shown on view, that will all be
I'm going to use your light pointer there. There you go.
better than
It's pretty high tech.
I got you.
There you go.
This right here is pavement already, and the building, in addition, is going right here. These are the parking places that are being eliminated, and so we've just been moving the parking over, clear stuff. This would be replacing the parking lot that's back here.
Does the new addition there on the west side, does it have a new employee entrance or anything on that side, or will employees go around, or how they?
No, there's man doors and large overhead doors on this side of the extension.
So they essentially would go from the new parking lot to the existing asphalt or something like that, and then into this building. Oh, okay.
The only other question I had while I'm up here is that where did we get the guidance on the trees that are to be planted? Yeah, there's a mound there that we planned on planting the trees on top of that mound.
And that was very similar to what we were thinking.
Okay.
Was there anyone else here that wanted to speak for or against this item? Okay.
Thank you.
I will motion to approve site plan review SP-26-2023 filed by Workbrow for a 30,772 square foot parking lot expansion of their facility at 2500 Fostoria Avenue.
Second.
All right, Jackie. It's taking the second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Jacob, whenever you're ready.
Did the motion include the condition for the landscaping?
With the condition that they work with HRPC on the landscaping.
Got it.
Jackie, are you okay with that amendment?
Definitely.
Okay. Very good. Thank
Appreciate
you,
that. Okay. Okay. Mr. Martin.
Aye.
Mr. DeArmond.
Aye.
Ms. Schroeder.
Aye.
Mr. Klinger.
Aye.
Mayor Murin.
Aye. Moving to item number 3, application for site plan review SP-27-2023 filed by the VFW Post 5645 for a 1,800 square foot pavilion and fencing at 315 Walnut Street. CPC staff comments.
Okay, so this request is located on the south side of Walnut Street between Taylor Street and the north-south railroad tracks. It is zoned R3 single-family small lot. On the south side of Walnut Street is mostly R3 small lot residential with some C1 light local commercial. To the north, it's a mix of C2 general commercial and I1 light industrial. It's not located within the 100-year floodplain, and the City of Findlay Land Use Plan designates the area as single-family small lot. Parcel history, so this particular lot is currently vacant. The VFW would like to add a pavilion to the site. They host events in the summer and would like to have an outdoor area where they can gather. Pavilion would be a 4-post structure with an overhang located in the southeast corner of the site. They would enclose this with this lot with an 8-foot high vinyl fence that would wrap around the south and the east property line. There would also be a 4-foot high aluminum fence located on the north side of the site there. Yep. And staff did not have any concerns with the proposed plan, so staff recommends approval of the application for site plan review SP-27-2023 filed by the VFW Post 5645 for an 1,800 square foot pavilion and fencing at 315 Walnut Street.
Engineering.
No real concerns. I mean, the area that it's taken up is kind of impervious right now, but what I'd like to see, since this fence is going up there and that drive is really not going to be utilized as much anymore, I would like to see if there's any kind of gravel or anything that's, I guess if you want to say north of that fence line along one, I got a pointer too, I guess, along this fence line right here, if there's any gravel in here to get that turned back to grass, just to kind of help with have some more pervious areas within there. Since that's not going to be utilized, I know this is a shared drive, but I think a little bit of that could go back to a grass situation. So I'd like to see that.
Very good. Fire prevention.
We just want to make sure they get the proper permits for the pavilion and the fence.
Thank you. So the recommendation before the commission is CPC staff recommends approval of the application for site plan review SP-27-2023 filed by the VFW Post 5645 for an 1,800 square foot pavilion and fencing at 315 Walnut Street. Is the applicant here to speak on this item?
They are not.
Oh, okay. I am assuming they have been in conversations with you all and are aware of the conditions and notes. Any comments from the commission?
The only thing I was wondering about, maybe to Dan, is 8-foot versus 6-foot fence on that whole. Is 8 okay? I mean, that seems like it's a pretty tall wall.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We did that, or they did that at the VFW, or the Move.
And I agreed with it
Yeah.
there, because you basically have a bar and I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, I'm just kind of wondering about I don't know.
Personally, I think if I was a budding property owner, I would prefer the taller fence
Yeah.
to a lower fence as a
Okay.
buffer.
Okay.
I guess what, if any, discussions, it looks like there is some space between the pavilion and the fence. Are they putting any landscaping along there? I'm not as concerned about it because it is the higher fence. But I guess that would be my only comment to them is, to make sure that they are considerate of the adjacent neighbors. Was there anyone else here that wanted to speak for or against this item? Okay.
Matt, or maybe you know, or Jacob, are they planning the fence clear over to the building or on that?
No, it's a little hard to distinguish, but the fence is this red line here. So this would be 8 feet, and it would go to here, and then this would be 4 feet.
Okay.
On the drawing submitted, it shows 91 feet of fence along the south property line, and it looks like it goes to the end of the
Parking lot.
Corner
existing
here,
parking
yeah.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Good catch, Jack.
Yeah, see?
That way they keep.
She's on it.
Yeah, I would say overall, I'm fine with this. I think it's not overly obtrusive, and the barriers and setbacks that have been created, meet our zoning requirements. I would, in the future, if we can really try to encourage people to be here, I'd prefer that for discussion purposes.
I was told that someone else, the applicant wasn't able to make it, but he had told someone else to come, but obviously that did not happen.
All right.
Well, I will move to approve application for a site plan review SP 2723 filed by VFW at Post 5645 for a 1,800 square foot pavilion and fencing at 315 Walnut Street.
I'll second.
Very good. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Jacob, whenever you're ready.
Mr. DeArmond?
Aye.
Mr. Schroeder?
Aye.
Mr. Klinger?
Aye.
Mayor Maron?
Aye.
And Mr. Martin?
Aye.
All right. Moving on to item number 4, application for conditional use CU-18-2023 filed by Madcast LLC, 116 West Lyman Street to establish a triplex, at 239 Garfield Avenue located on parcel 2100102942. CPC staff comments.
So this request is located on the south side of Garfield Street, just west of the railroad tracks. Parcel is zoned R3 small lot residential. It's in a neighborhood that is pretty much exclusively R3 small lot residential. City of Findlay land use plan designates the area as small lot residential, and it is not located within the 100-year floodplain. Currently, the site is vacant. Former house had a fire and torn down. The applicant is proposing to take that parcel and split it in half. Once the parcel is split, they would like to construct a triplex on the eastern half nearest to the railroad tracks. The house they would construct on the west side would be a single-family home. Madcast LLC owns several properties along Garfield Avenue already, and they would like to continue their layout with a shared driveway between two houses, with the driveway opening up to a parking area in the rear of the building. And that's why I kind of included the zoomed out version, because you can kind of see some of the other properties along Garfield already have that kind of set up, as you can see down the street. Layout of the house would have a garage in the front with the first unit on the second floor. In the back of the house, there would be a unit on each floor. For the triplex, they're proposing a 3-car garage, and they would have a parking area in the back that could accommodate at least 4 additional cars. Given the presence of duplexes along Garfield Avenue and that they've provided adequate parking, staff didn't have any concerns with the request. So staff recommends approval of the application for conditional use CU-18-2023 filed by Madcast LLC, 116 West Lima Street, to establish a triplex at 239 Garfield Avenue, located at parcel 2100001029420.
Engineering?
So no concerns, just kind of a comment. They've came up and met with us, talk about curb cuts, taps, and all that kind of stuff. So we've worked all that stuff out. No concerns on that end. They know of an upcoming project that's going through there, the water line project, so they're aware of that. But we're working with them on all that kind of stuff, so I don't have any concerns with it.
Very good. Fire prevention?
No comment.
So the recommendation before the commission is staff recommends approval of application for conditional use CU-18-2023 filed by Madcast LLC, 116 West Lima Street, to establish a triplex at 239 Garfield Avenue, located at parcel 2100010299420. I believe the applicant is here. Could you please come forward and introduce yourself? We promise we don't bite.
Sure.
You have anything?
Hello.
There you go.
Thanks, sir.
Anything you want
Yeah,
to
my name-
add about the?
Yeah, my name's Jim Warner. I'm owner of Madcast LLC. And as you guys were commenting, we built those 2 houses over there to the west. They're going to be about the same thing, style-wise, gable, the whole 9 yards. The parking lot in the back of the project we're talking about now will have a catch basin just like we have on the other one. That really took care of the issue that we had on that lot we had before. There was a lot of water there. So that's what we're going to do, the same thing here. Run into the storm drain to get rid of the water. And it'll make it a lot better. And then on the parking for 239, there's going to be a 3-car garage, and that will be counted 3 spaces. And then behind the house there, you can't really tell, but there's 4 spots back there. But they can get more in there. We were trying to figure out whether we can do angle parking that might give 1 or 2 spots for people that want to visit. So I think the biggest thing is that Garfield, you probably know as well as I do, that's a very crowded street, is a narrow street for parking. So we're trying to make it to where it's not so bad there with the parking lot. So you guys have any comments or questions, I'm gonna be glad to answer.
I think my only comment is, Rob and I were talking when we were reviewing the application. We were unfortunately on scene when that house burnt down, and unfortunate situation, but I think that this is going to be a nice improvement to the
Yes.
neighborhood and a good use of those lots. And you've obviously made significant investment along that roadway, so I'm excited to see that continue and obviously provide needed housing in that area. So overall, I think that the layout makes sense, and I guess my only comment would be if it's great to have all the parking and that hard surface, but if you can find ways to have as much grass as possible as well, that would be my only
I
feedback.
paint the parking green if you want.
Perfect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there'll be some green space on the west side of 235. Now, obviously, you see there's a lot between the two that we have. Yeah, right there. Okay, so the lady, we've been trying to get a hold of her, and we'd like to have that as well. But as of right now, we have about 14 feet of green space to the west of that building. So there's some grass there. But if we do decide we can get that lot, there'll be a driveway there. So that's why the house is sitting like it is. So we have room for the driveway for future use.
Very good. Thank
Okay.
you.
And one note, I agree with the mayor, driving down Garfield to visit the site, your house is really stuck out as being very nice and,
Yeah.
and an improvement to the neighborhood. And I love reinvestment in existing neighborhoods. Because this is infill development,
Right.
you qualify for the community reinvestment area. So I'd encourage you, as you build these structures, the year in which they're completed, you apply to our office and we can walk you through that process.
Yeah, we were late on, we forgot about that on the other one, so we want to make sure to do it this time.
Yep.
Okay. Is that the Hancock Planning Commission?
Well,
got-
HRPC,
Okay,
if you contact Jake, you have Jacob's information.
okay,
We'll try to send you the application this afternoon.
okay. That'd be great.
So you own these 3 houses here?
Yes.
Are these 3 houses,
Yeah,
are they all
yeah.
rentals then? Is that what your
Yeah,
goal
yeah,
is? You're
because
not
one in the
selling?
middle was original structure, and we built the 2, and there was land on both sides of that.
Okay. And I wasn't able to read this very well, but you've got 3 garages in the front here along this portion of the building?
It's one big garage, it's like a 3-car garage.
Okay, but you're accessing it from the front side,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Jeremy, when we've got obviously a lot of hard surface here now where we had a lot of pervious surface. Do we look at that from the standpoint of any detention or anything?
On residential side, we don't normally look at that unless it's like a subdivision type
Okay.
thing or a condo association where there's major roadways and stuff like that. But on a residential side like this, we've never in the past had any kind of detention requirements.
Okay. Yeah, that shows it a little better. So I think, is this like the concrete in front of the parking garages then?
That's the driveway in front
Yeah,
of
the driveway
of the
there.
house, yes.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about too.
Yeah.
Plan commission, as far as the curb cut.
Yeah.
They had it.
Show him where the grass is going to be.
Oh,
That's what he would know, wants to know.
all right, let's see, right here would be grass. Right here would be grass. And right here on this side, or at the railroad side, it would just be stone landscaping. And then right on the edge of that property line, we'll probably, I can't remember the name of those bushes, but we're gonna put bushes up there for like a sound barrier along from here to there. Yeah, it'd be like, yeah, thank you. It'd be like 20 or 30 of those.
Yeah.
And they grow like 5 foot around. And along here on the back, we'll probably do like enough for a riding mower, 1 path along there. And then here, it'd be grass. And there'd be a sidewalk right there to go to the city walk. That's grass. This would be all grass right here. So yeah, this one here doesn't have very much grass, but there's some there, and that's it. And then, let's see, oh yeah, I was talking to Steve Lesto, my excavator. He brought up a point about storm sewer. And right here, I think it's where the storm sewer stops on Garfield. So we were thinking of taking the drain to be right here. It's like a culvert drain right here to take all the water from the parking lot. And we're going to take that pipe, go over here, and come along that property line. And these 2 houses will tie in with gutter tile into that pipe, as well as a sump pump, to go into that catch basin down the road. Is that correct? That the storm sewer ends there?
Yes.
Okay.
I made a quick trip down there this morning before the meeting, and you've done a nice job with those other buildings down there, and I commend you for that, and I think it's making a great improvement to the neighborhood too.
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, I will motion to approve applicational use CU-18-2023 filed by Madcast LLC, 116 West Lima Street, to establish a triplex at 239 Garfield Avenue, located at parcel 210010299420.
Second.
You have a motion and a second. I just want to confirm there's nobody else sitting over there, so.
Matt, the triplex, on the R3, is that a conditional use?
It is a conditional use.
Okay,
yeah.
so this is a conditional approval of that triplex. then, okay.
Yep.
All right, very good. Hearing no other discussion, Jacob, whenever you're ready.
Mr. Schroeder,
Aye.
Mr. Klinger,
Aye.
Mayor Moon,
Aye.
Mr. Martin,
Aye.
Mr. Jerem.
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you all. Seeing no other items are on our agenda, this meeting of the City of Findlay Planning Commission is adjourned.
They have done a nice job with
Yeah.
that area.
Actually, I was surprised when I drove down there. I was like, this whole street looks a lot better than I remember it the
Yeah,
last time I was down
yeah.
there.
Several of the
Like,
places-
a lot of the houses have been improved.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Look pretty nice. I was like, huh.
Couple that we ought to get on,
Nice.
but
Well, you know, there's always a few, but yeah, overall, I was kind of impressed with how the neighborhood
Yeah.
looked. So that was a nice
But-
surprise.
the street is just so doggone narrow. That's-
It is really narrow, which